I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not dissatisfied. I think what they came out with was great, and I think it was more of an experience if you were there, obviously, because you can play the game. I think Static, you had a chance to play the game. You actually got into the line to play.
Yeah, played about 3 times.
About 3 times. Okay.
How long was that wait?
Not long at all. Maybe
That's pretty
10
good.
minutes. They had 48
wow.
setups.
Oh,
Yeah.
They had how many
48
setups?
148. One line for stick and one line for D-pads.
I saw they had caps.
Yes. Oh, well, not cabs, but setups both sides.
No, they had cabs. I saw screenshots of it or videos of it.
Well,
Those cabs
It
you can
wasn't
sit down
necessarily
on.
a cab. They had like, I guess you could say it's a cab, but it's a table and a double-sided and two-sided TVs.
oh,
set
that's
up.
like what they have at like conventions like PAX East and stuff like that when they do like Marvel
Yeah.
events and stuff. I remember that type of stuff.
Yeah, and
It's not really a
PC or
cab.
consoles inside. Right. So it was sort of like that. Basically four both sides, and it was basically recommended for like 4 people playing.
Gotcha.
Now, one time I did do 1v2, and it was actually boring. It was myself versus my brother, my friend Is, and it was boring for my side. I'm like, what do I do? How do I like? I can't tell anybody to tag in for me and fight for me, and while I take a breather or something.
Oh, really? So
And I should be used to that in Marvel, but
Yeah, I was about to say, of all the people, I thought you'd just be chilling on that, since
Yeah.
that's just a standard versus game. So you were actually feeling that the game, you felt like you would enjoy the game more with it was an actual partner with you.
yes, because you're focused on your character rather than focused on 2 characters. And I know it sounds weird coming from a Marvel player, but it's definitely a it feels more like a team-based game.
Okay.
It's purposed for that.
So yeah. So besides that, so we got the line wasn't as bad. Luckily, that's awesome. Because I could only imagine they assumed it was going to be insane to play. There was going to have a lot of people wanting to play. So it's cool that they managed to hold that down. What were your like? I mean, who would you play? I just want to know, who were you feeling? We had 4 characters. We had Darius, you had Echo, you had Ari, and Yasuo, who was announced. And even though we pointed out like there was already videos of showing him in a playable build, so it wasn't really that big of a announcement. But he ended up being the 4th character in there to make it a 2v2.
I couldn't help but use Echo just because of
You would use Echo, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I knew you would.
Well, if you bring up the footage, if you found it yet, yeah, he's obviously the mix-up character that I guess I would like to use. Just the movement abilities. The other ones I just wasn't feeling. I tried out what's her name? Ari?
Ari.
Yeah.
I gave her a try. I didn't like it. Yasuo, I think I had him as my partner. So when I was playing by myself, I tried him. I didn't like him either. He felt a little slow, unless you're Marlin Pie. But other than that, hey, that's not my footage.
It's not your footage. Yeah.
Other than
that's
that, I did
surprising.
like. What was that?
I only say that's surprising because Yipes was saying like Ari's kind of like the Marvel character. So if you want to play
She's
Marvel
Psylocke.
character, Ari's it.
Oh,
She's-
okay.
She's Psylocke with an air dash, it seems.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
But in my opinion, just the Echo movement is where I like to play. Whereas, yeah, Ari has that movement, but like Echo has the mix, in my opinion.
Static,
but again,
Static will
I-
always go for the schmicks. Like, understand that
Yeah.
is just the player he
I'll go
is.
for style.
Street Fighter 6. Like, if you play him with Chun-Li, he'll always check if you recover backwards. If you recover backwards, he's gonna try to mix you on the next knockdown because he's like, oh, I'm gonna do it because this mix works on back recovery.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, also his super, I didn't notice it until I got hit with it. Well, I did it, and if he gets hit in his super, he recovers, goes back in time, and hits you in the middle of it, and the super activates. And I was like, dog, that was cool. Like, we didn't know what happened at first, and I was like, I want it.
Yeah, it's tailored to like how his ult is in actual League, where he actually gets to rewind and just completely reset the entire situation.
Sort of like the movie.
Yeah, exactly. The show, excuse me, exactly. Can you believe they're making a game out of the show? It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, so you got to play with Echo and Ari. Did you sit down with any other characters? Like, did you play with Darius?
So my homie did use Darius a lot. He did like him a lot. He likes bigger character like Juggernaut.
The big bodies, yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting. Again, we wouldn't really get to do much. It was a lot of saving each other. Well, at least the most that we could. I felt like the green bar was it took a little long to get started, to go back up. I don't know how it activates. I know how to activate it. I just don't know how to regenerate that bar.
The burst or the dynamic save.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's definitely a resource that you have scarcely, you know.
Yeah, now that you mention it does take a while for that to fill.
So it's sort of like Guilty Gear, but the only difference is the more you get hit, it goes up more. So just treat it like Guilty Gear. A little bit more volatile though, because it's slower than Guilty Gears. I would imagine. If we
it was, some were saying 2 out of 3 you can do, or first to 2. So I didn't really get to play that much. So what I did was, I just wanted to do the combos that I thought was possible. Thing is, they released that morning a how to play video the first morning.
Yeah.
And I took from that the best that I could was I just did like launcher combos that I took from there. Yeah. So like when I was using Echo, I just did like I actually was did like Tatsunoko type stuff. The morning that the game was not announced, but like that video came out, I was at a cafe at my hotel and I went downstairs and talked to, I didn't get his name, but he's the only one who at that time had the lanyard for Project L. And I asked him, I said, hey, so about the level 3 supers. The level 3 supers are down, both special inputs. And I was concerned. I'm like, what if you don't have like a macro? Like, do you is there a priority system? Or what type of, like, what if I get special 2 or special 1 when I wanted special level 3? And he says, well, the specials actually do cancel out. So like it will prioritize level 3 if you are pushing both. Something along those lines. Yeah, so I did want to ask him about that because
it's pretty cool.
Again, with a button that buttons that are only specials, you might get something other than the other. So, and then the down input's kind of not too concerning, but just something you have to remember going through.
I was gonna say you're notorious for not liking down inputs. You complain about that shit with Chun-Li in Street Fighter 6 all the time.
It's so dog shit.
I like it more for an install, like Percival. It makes most sense to me.
Not for a DP.
To have it. No, not at all.
DP should be DP motion. That's why they're called DPs.
Right. Yeah. That brings up that whole thought.
Yeah, I understand if they're difficult depending on your controller skill or just your controller in general.
True.
I learned a long time ago. I remember specifically when I learned it because I'm like, why do I get Fireball and why do I get DP? So then, it was in Guilty Gear Reload when I was looking at the training mode and just seeing it Z motion. But again, we're talking about Project L. I think it's super easy. The supers, there's a lot of variants to certain supers. So the special one for Echo was dealing with that ball. I didn't know exactly how to deal with it, but I did read as they had on the list, they had like command lists around the TV.
Yeah, I saw they had it like around each screen.
Yeah, it was saying how to input certain things or how to do certain moves. So like it said the ball in order to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So